Guys, I don't know if I'm live right now. I'm sorry. This is acting weird.
You can postmate almost
Yeah.
anything. Like last minute party favors.
Okay, do we have audio? Yeah, sounds like it. Okay, so first things first, let's mention Exchange Collectibles, a sponsor. Check them out, exchangecollectibles.com. You can use discount code CRYPTO for 10% off. They got some hot books right now, The Rejected Dead Girl. All right, so we've got uh, 50 Prescreen 9.8 books here. And if you've been following the channel, I bought a little while back a bunch of die number ones. So we got all of those, not all of them. I sent, I don't know, like 12 or 13 or something like that. So we've got a bunch of die number ones. Tony, what's going on, brother? Mikey V, what's going on? So die number ones, and then we've got the Faithless Adolfo covers. I think I sent like 11 of those, and those I did not get pressed because they looked really, really nice. So I was like, no, save the money, don't need to press them. Then I also sent a bunch of Sabrina, the Hughes Virgin variant. Those ones I was questionable on. They all in the back seem to have like just a finger bend from someone like touching the book wrong. It's very, very faint, and I was like, gosh, I don't know if I should get them pressed or not. I ended up deciding let's just roll the dice. So I sent like 8 of those in, and I figured, if a few of them come back rejects, then I could just get them pressed and send them back in. I think there might have been a couple other Vampirella books in here too. I don't really remember exactly what all was in there, except for those 3 were the main like quantity books. All right, so here we go. Okay, so there's our first Faithless Adolfo cover. Any of the duplicates, I'm just gonna uh, pile up and not pull them all out. Okay, I think that looks all right. Maybe. Okay. Adolfo number 2. Number 3. Number 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. And 11. And I don't know if you guys haven't seen this cover. I'll go ahead and take you close into it. I really like the way that Mirka Adolfo kind of um, put some of this stuff out of focus a little bit. Oh, it's a light, if you can see this or not. But the way she's got this drawn here, it gives it like a 3D effect, which is really cool. Um, this cover was limited to 500 copies. So this is one of my favorite covers for this series. All right, so I think that's all of them. Yep. Okay, so we got all 11 of the Faithless Adolfo's 9/8. So there's our first Sabrina. Now we sent 8 of these. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, so now we're into the dies. So I sent 8 of those, so it looks like 2 rejects. So here's our first die, number 1. So we had 11 and 8. So that's 19. So that means we sent 6 die number 1s. And then that'll be this submission. Okay, so there's our first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's it. Okay, so looks like we got, and I'll go through them later. So it looks like we got 1 die that was a reject and 2 of the Sabrinas that was a reject. Yeah. Yeah, it's just that Mirka and Adolfo Faithless, it just really is nice. There's the Latoy, which is, a lot more lewd. But this one, it's just a really nice looking cover without going, overboard as far as nudity and whatnot. So I like it, definitely. Okay, so I'll put these away. So there's quite a few more die number 1s in this next submission, but I can't remember exactly what else we had in there. Okay. So I'm still kind of surprised that die number 1 hasn't continued to kind of gain value lately. And I may try and sell some of the 9.8s and use that money to buy more raw ones that I think can grade 9.8. That was kind of what my plan was going to be initially. But after the thing got optioned, I kind of thought that I might not be able to do that. The Faithless, I might sell a few of these, but I really think that there's probably a pretty good chance that Faithless is going to get optioned too. So, I may sell a few more of these and then hold some. Maybe I'd sell, a third to half of them right now and then save the rest. That's kind of just what I'm thinking with that one, because I think that we're probably going to get some news that it's going to get optioned. Anyway, that's just my gut feeling. So take that for whatever it means. The raws, the rejects, we'll check those out later. All right, on to box number 2. Okay, like I said, dies, lots of dies in here. And who knows what else? I can't remember. Okay. It's Amazing Spider-Man 1, Venom Inc Omega. Pretty sweet Delgado cover there. Venom on it. So I believe we sent a couple of these. Maybe 2, maybe 3. So there's a second one. Okay, so here is a die number 2. One of the die sets that I bought came with a number 1 and 2, and I thought that this number 2 should make a 9.8, and it did, so that's cool. All of the dies were wavy as all hell, so I thought that every single one of them needs to be pressed. Just for anyone else out there, you know, thinking about stuff. Okay, so here's our Vampirella Deja Torres. I believe this is Perallo. Yeah, this is Perallo. These things have been a pain in the butt to get in 9.8s. I've had to resubmit a couple. You know, they were not easy at all. So, whatever that's worth. Here's the Vampirella Reanimator. This is the blue cover, and I can't remember which one was the more rare one. I think that they made only 250 of the blue and 500 of the red. I could have that backwards though, but I think that that's what it is. So I've had these come back rejects a couple times too, and resubmitted and got it through. But up until now, I didn't have any doubles of those, so I didn't want to sell them until I at least got doubles, because I'll definitely want to keep a pair of those for myself, because I'm a Vampirella fan as well. Okay, so is that one the... Yeah, that's... Oh, I'm sorry. This is the red one. So this is the blue one. So I believe that this is the one they made 250 of, and they made 500 of that one. Something like that. I know they're really pretty low print. Okay, here's some more dies. I can't remember how many were in this one. There was quite a few. It might have been like another 8 or 10 or something. Okay, it's another one. And another one. Okay, this is one that was rejected that I resubmitted because I thought that they were out of their minds for not making this a 9.8. So there we go. That's X23 number 1. Was it Mayhew, I believe? Mayhew, I don't know if that was a convention cover or not. Anyway, it's the Mayhew. I think the convention cover is white. Another one that was a reject that I thought they were out of their minds. This is the Kale New sketch cover. Was pretty limited. I think they only made 400 of them. And this is Kale New's first published art. So I think he's pretty talented. So if he goes somewhere, people are going to be hunting this book down big time. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Yeah, Tony, I know, man. The dye books, red would look sick. Maybe even on those Vampirellas too, red would look sick. Oh, so Mikey, Tony is the owner of EGS, which is another third-party grading company that's really new. And what he's doing is he's letting you do custom color labels here. So CGC makes them all blue. Tony's got like what, Tony, 13 different colored labels, so you can like color coordinate. So say with this one, if you want a black label, because that would probably look sick, you can actually have this label all black to kind of color coordinate with the comic. So anyway, that's what he's talking about, Mikey. Um, and dude, I can't wait. I hope you can really give CGC a run for their money. Um, and we get your eBay sales up on par with CGC. That's gonna be like just amazing if we can get that done for you. Okay, another one of the Venom Inc Delados. Like that one there, dude. Black label looks sick on that one. We've already looked at that a couple times. So it looks like a lot of my resubmits were in this, and so far we're doing pretty good as far as getting them all through. Yeah, there's another one of the Vampirellas. So I've been holding off on selling any of those because I had like maybe 5 or 10 copies, and I think I sold a couple, and then I started sending them into CGC, and it's another die. And I was getting some rejects, and I was like, oh man, I don't know if I want to start selling these yet because I want to be sure that I can get myself, my set of all these Vampirellas. Another die number 1, because there was like four Vampirellas in this set that I got, and these were all really limited too. They only made like 250 of each one. Okay, another die number 1 there. Another die number 1 there. Die again. So I still have a few more to send in, but I sent most all of the ones that I thought that would have a chance at 9.8. Okay, there's another one there. It's a Perallo Red Sonja. This was from New York Comic Con last year. Book was pretty hot for a little bit there. X23 number 1. This is the Perallo San Diego Comic Con from last year. And I can't remember. I think that was a reject too from like maybe a submission or 2 ago. So here's another one of those Vampirellas from that set. This is what the Mayhew. So this is Mayhew from the Vampirella Deja Torres. And all of those, the 4 that I got, all of them limited to 250. So this one is the Natalie Sanders. And, like I said, I was not having the best luck for a minute there getting these things through. Seemed for whatever reason they just wanted to reject those. I don't know if it's the paper or whatnot. Dynamite. I don't know. So here's another one. Natalie Sanders. Okay. And we got a couple rejects in here, and I don't know which ones they are because I can't remember exactly how many of everything I sent. But it looks like there can't be really more than about 2 books in here. So that seemed like it was a really good result right there. Yeah, the X23 is nice, just simple, white. All right, so Tony, Valiant. Okay, I think that I basically think that when the Bloodshot movie comes out, it's going to catch everyone by surprise, and then the massive feeding frenzy is going to start for all the Valiant keys. So you want everything from pre-Unity Rise Zero is Bloodshot's first appearance, so that one will probably jump up. It really kind of jumped up pretty good and has calmed down a little bit, so now might be a good time to buy. The 9.8 mats were all the way up to $300 for a minute. Now they're kind of back down to 150. And before, that kind of next announcement had came out, they were kind of trending at like 100. So not a bad time to buy them now. You've also got Eternal Warrior 4. That's the first cameo for Bloodshot. Um, that's actually a tougher book to find than Rise Zero, but not that many people know about it. So, that's another good one. You've obviously got Harbinger number 1. That book will be the next movie that they're going to make, most likely. I think it's going to go Bloodshot 1, Harbinger 1, Bloodshot 2, Harbinger 2, and then Harbinger Wars. Harbinger is already expensive, and I have stocked up ridiculously heavy on them in 9.8. So that book is, kind of trending for anywhere between 800 to 1,000, just kind of depending on, what happens with any given auction. So that one has always been one of the major Valiant keys, but it's already kind of really expensive. So maybe even in a 9.6 you can pick it up for probably 300, and let that 9.8 kind of go up and drag the 9.6 with it. Um, I like the Harbinger Zero Pinks if you can get them cheap. So like I just showed one the other day, I got that one for like $60, and it had a good shot of making 9.8. It's the origin of Pete, so it's a key, but it's not like a major key. But it's one of the first ever mail away books, and they only made like 3,000 of them, so it's really pretty rare. Next, I like Magnus Robot Fighter 5. And that's got the Rye 1 flip book. So you take the book, and this way it would say Magnus 5. You flip it like this, and now it says Rye number 1. And as you start turning the pages this way, it's Rye number 1, just on the first page, not the back page. And then when you flip it over, now it's Magnus. So that's pretty cool. And that's Rye's first appearance, who is kind of related to Bloodshot, depending on how well you know your Valiant history. So that's a really good one. Solar Man of the Atom 3 is the first appearance of Toyo Harada, who will be the main villain in the Harbinger movies. So that's a fantastic one to pick up. What else am I missing here? Some of the kind of more common books. You've got Bloodshot number 6 is the first appearance of Ninjak. That one's a little more common. You might be able to find those for $10 a piece. In 9.8s, there may be like $70. What else? That's probably most of them. Solar Man of the Atom 10 is the first appearance of Eternal Warrior, but CGC won't put that on their label. So that's a good book to get. Eternal Warrior number 1, the gold flat and puffies are good to get. Archer and Armstrong number 1, or Zero, the golds. Those are good ones to get. So anyway, Bloodshot, the glossy is probably the best for the Rise Zero glossy 9.8. Those are going for about 350 right now. They were trending up to like 450, like a couple months ago after that initial kind of movie announcement buzz kind of pushed the book up. And I think that when that movie releases, that book could be close to $1,000. So I've been stocking up heavily on those as well. Um, is everybody Italian? Yeah, most of us are, brother. Most of us are. um, yeah, it's all good, brother. We just share the love here, and I don't mind sharing specs that I'm pretty well stocked up on them. So I mean I'm pretty good as far as the Valiant stuff. I mean I do well. I'll tell you what. Shadow Man #1 and Exo Monowar #1. Those are good ones too. That's probably a little further down the line because I don't see them doing like an Exo Monowar movie or a Shadow Man movie. Probably, that's probably like phase 2 of Valiant. Phase 1 is going to be like Bloodshot, Harbinger Wars. So they'll get the two movies, do their crossover, and they'll probably introduce a couple more characters either in end credit scenes or through the movies, and then work up to a few more movies and then a bigger crossover. And then if we want to start looking at the new Valiant stuff, then there's a few keys in there too. They're not like true first appearances, but they'd be like the first modern appearance. So there's some good ones to get in there also. But I think the safer bet is the older stuff. But there are some really low print of the new things too, in some of the variants, like Divinity #1, the La Rosa cover. They only made like 350 of those. I've got a few of those in 9.8. If they do like a Divinity crossover and do that in a movie, oh boy, that book could jump to God only knows what, a couple $1,000s probably, because there's just not enough of them out there. Also, Eternity #1, which I've shown a couple times, and I was able to scoop up that Eternity #1 in a CGC 9.9. That is a great one if they ever do the Eternity universe. That's probably way, way down the line. But, that book has got tons of first cover appearances on it, as well as all the first appearances of, a lot of major characters in that whole other universe. So, guys, I think that's pretty much it. Got to get, man, I got to get some of this stuff on eBay and start flipping some of this stuff. But anyway, cool. Die #1s, I still believe in those, man. It got optioned, and then really it didn't move too much. So I don't know why people maybe had already priced that in, but I'm telling you, when Die comes out as a TV show, it's gonna blow up. I mean, I think that of anything that's out there right now, if done right, Die could really become like one of the next Walking Dead type shows. I know people don't want to throw that around, but it won't become Walking Dead as far as value. There's just no way because there's too many of them out there. But it could turn into a $500 book if the TV show does really, really well in a 9.8. All right, guys, that's it for tonight. Uh, Chicago pizza. Sorry, brother. We go New York pizza all the way here. Um, Chicago's good, dude, but for me, I can't eat it every day. Like, I'll eat a thick crust pizza once a month and I'm good. But New York thin crust, I can eat that every day, man. I can eat, a couple slices of that every day, no problem. But the Chicago stuff is good too, but that's like a once a month. The New York thin crust, that's every day. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me, and we will catch you on the next one.